Okay, so back to the real work. And I do, and you made reference to this, Madam Chair, starting unfortunately with really very devastating and sad news, which is that since the last MTA board meeting, we have had 4 traffic fatalities on the streets of San Francisco. 4 more people have lost their lives through the end of June. Total of 19 lives lost, 11 of which were pedestrians. Just to walk through them, and you'll see some, you might hear some themes here. June 23rd at 1:30 in the morning, southbound vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed allegedly ran a red light at 3rd and Paul, striking another vehicle, which killed the driver and passenger of the other vehicle. The driver was Syed Wasim Ali, 26 years old, and his passenger was Celia Enriquez, 49 years old. We did send a rapid investigation team out there. We did find some faded crosswalks, which have since been repainted, but clearly speed the issue. On June 24th, the next day, 3 a.m., a 56-year-old Alexander Reyes was killed at California and Park Presidio when an eastbound driver, again traveling at a high rate of speed, ran a red light and struck his vehicle as he was going north on Park Presidio. We also went out and repainted the lines as well as a tow-away zone, and we did put new far side signal heads on at California Street. A few days later, June 27th at 2 a.m., a 30-year-old man was struck and killed while on foot at 1st and Howard by a vehicle making a left turn on red from Howard to 1st. Howard is one way, so left turns are permissible, or they were, because following our investigation, we instituted a no turn on red restriction for westbound traffic on Howard. So this is another 4 people who lost their lives unnecessarily and tragically. You can see, I think these were all very early morning. So in darkness, speed a factor. That's the primary collision factor in at least the plurality, if not majority, of severe and fatal collisions. So just a reminder that we need to keep focusing on getting authorization for automated speed enforcement. We need to continue the focus on the 5 on speed and our outreach efforts to get people to slow down as they make their way around the city. So then just a quick a couple of construction updates. One, with regard to the 16th Street platform at the UCSF Chase Center stop. We're in the final stages of construction of the platform, and we'll be doing our final closure in support of that work. Just to remind you that right now we have 2 different split platforms. This is creating a single 320-foot long platform to serve both inbound and outbound trains right in front of the new arena site. It'll enable 4 2-car trains to load simultaneously at large events, so that we'll really be able to efficiently move people out, connect them to the rest of the Muni system, as well as to other regional connectors such as BART and Caltrain, and eventually it will just the trains will go into the central subway. So in order to complete the construction on the platform, facilitate testing, and do the final track concrete and paving work, we will have again the bus substitution of the T3rd starting on July 27th. I believe that's a Saturday, and it'll last approximately 10 days. So one work week, and we will have E-line service suspended during this time to facilitate the work. And then we'll have the platform open and all the new infrastructure that was put in place up and ready in service at the beginning of August, well in advance of the first Chase Center events in September. So the final stretch there, anyone who's been down 3rd Street on the T recently, you can see it's just about done. The other big construction project, the El Terraval, is set to begin construction this summer. This is a project that we've talked about a lot here. You legislated at some point last year. And as you know, we're doing the construction in 2 segments. We're starting first on the western segment, which is essentially from Sunset Boulevard West out to the zoo. Overall, the construction will take about 3 years. The first segment will have about 6 months of bus substitution, so bus shuttles will run for that outer part of the L to get folks in to connect to the light rail. Because the construction is about to start, tomorrow night we are having a community meeting to talk about construction impacts and to gather feedback from the community. We've already gotten a whole bunch of feedback from folks based on an earlier plan for staging, which we've since, I think, largely addressed. But we do have this meeting tomorrow night. It's 5:30 p.m. at the Grace Lutheran Church at 3201 Ulloa. So we encourage members of the public to come. It'll be an open house for us to explain what the plans are for the 2 phases of construction, what we're thinking about for staging, and to hear any concerns about loading, parking, noise, anything like that. We realize that not everybody has an opportunity to go. We are going to propose a couple of different ways that we can do the staging, so we really are seeking input from the public. But for those who can't go, we will have an online and text-to-Zin survey that will be open. I guess it is open from July 12th to the 22nd, so folks can go onto our website and submit their preferences, learn about the project and submit their preferences that way if they like. And then just one other piece of welcome news is, I think I mentioned this at the last meeting, but this past weekend, the Salesforce Transit Center resumed service at the Muni Bus Plaza. So that means the 5R, the 7, the 38, and the 38R are back from the temporary terminal into the plaza. I know everybody's read and hopefully had a chance to visit the reopening of the center generally, and particularly the rooftop park. And so next month, hopefully, the service up in the bus deck will resume for all the Transbay buses, including the 25 Treasure Island. So great milestone there. And then my last note is one of the things I talked about the great executive team that we have, but we have had a couple of holes. And one of the things that I've been very focused on is filling those holes. But also making sure that the Central Subway stays on a continued strong path to get to the finish line. So I'm pleased to announce the appointment of Nadeem Tahir, who started yesterday as the new Central Subway Program Director. So Nadeem just, as I said, he started yesterday, and it's his job to get the project to the finish line. This is not his first rodeo. He has more than 35 years of experience planning, designing, managing construction of large, highly complex domestic and international rail transit projects. He's managed projects in LA, DC, Chicago, and where I first met him was when he was the Director of Program Management for the FTA office here in Region 9, overseeing projects in California, Arizona, Nevada, and Hawaii. So he'll be on point working with the contractors, working with the Central Subway project staff, but more importantly, as we get close to the finish line with the transit and communications and sustainable streets and the other agency staff, as this turns from a capital project into part of the Muni system. So Nadeem started yesterday, and he relieved Albert Ho, who graciously agreed to serve as interim Central Subway Project Director, somewhat against his will. And I assured him that it would be for just a brief time, and that was 18 months ago. So he stepped in when John Fungi moved on to go to Caltrain. And as I was talking to him earlier, Albert really helped navigate this project through some of its most difficult periods in this last year and a half. And he's done so ably and professionally, probably spent too much time and at the expense of his own family. So I know they're going to be glad to be getting him back. He will, of course, stay with the project, and I'm hoping he will stay till the end of the project, but really want to thank him. He's been on the Central Subway for 15 years, nearly half of his long tenure with the city and with Muni, and has really been the steadying force through all of this. So with first John leaving, with my leaving, Albert will be the steady guide to support now Nadeem and the rest of the agency in getting this done. So I want to welcome Nadeem, and I want to thank Albert And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
And I don't know if, I think Nadeem is here somewhere, just so you can, I don't know if you want to come up
Wave
and
to us or something?
say a few words, release wave so that people know what you look like.
Sorry, if you could come up to the microphone, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank Ed for giving me this opportunity to serve the city. As he mentioned, transit is what I do, and I took this on as a challenge, and I feel that I can help to bring this project to the finish line. Thank you very much.
Thank you and welcome.